Yeah. So what are we talking about? Testing one, two.
We're good. I got you.
Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Coach Ray. I'm one of the co-founders here of GCL. Today, we're here to recap our 2025 season, and just excited for y'all to take this journey with us.
I'm Coach Kelly, GCL trainer and head coach of the 15U boys.
She's GCL master trainer. My name is Sean Bay Jones. I'm the other co-founder of Gulf Coast Legacy.
All right. So where do we start? We want to start with just I think the very best thing we could do is start from the beginning. GCL started with six girls from Clear Falls High Schools, back in 2021, and we've grown into what we are today. And this is not possible. Obviously, without the three of us here, it's not possible without us. But really, just so many people who stand behind us, parents, so many great coaches, and so many great players who stood with us since 2021. So this season that we've had a lot of time to discuss is the best and most successful season that we've had. Most successful from a win standpoint, but just most successful from just the quality of people and the quality of experiences that we've had this year. I want to give a huge shout out to some of the teams on the girls' side, and then I'll pass it up to my counterparts. So the youngest team that we had this year was our Young Guns team, which were coached by Coach Wilson, who's also the varsity coach of Dickinson High School. Our Young Guns teams absolutely set the world on fire, and these fourth and fifth grade girls are just tremendous. They're coached well, they're coached hard, they're disciplined, and they work incredibly hard. So really proud of them. They had a really great year. The next team we had was a more developmental team. We started this year having local teams, and so our local team was coached by Aya and also Kimbrough. I think one of my highlights for that particular team is just the fact that Aya and also Kimbrough, both their coaches, came up through GCL. So they were high level players for us. Matter of fact, they played for Coach Kelly when they first started. They're high level varsity players at their school, and to have them come full circle and to coach a team was a really great experience. A lot of learning took place for that team, and those girls are still working incredibly hard, so really excited about them. Next team, 12U, is Coach Pete, aka known as Old School. Man, what doesn't Coach Pete do for us, right? So in addition to coaching, he obviously does Little Legacy basketball 1-on-1, and he's just a great asset to the program. The parents love him, the kids love him. He's so patient. His 12U team had a really, really good year. Those girls worked incredibly hard. They were coached well, and they just from an overall perspective, they got better each and every time they stepped foot out there. They have some girls on that team that you better watch out for. Lauren Reed, who is playing up on that team, she is an absolute force to be reckoned with. You have, quite, and again, so many others on that team that just work hard. I think one of the things that I love the most about that team is that we have girls who on that team who've been with us for many, many years. And so watching them learn and grow and develop is great. 13U moving along, and that is a team again coached by Coach Wilson. He coaches two teams. So 13U team, they had a really great year. Started off really rocky, because if I'm honest, right? But new players on the team. All right, it took a while for people to buy in, but once they bought in, they did really, really well, and they ended the season very, very strong, playing some really good basketball. So again, that's kudos to Coach Wilson. It's not easy to coach two teams, but he does it very, very well. We had two 14U teams at the 14U level. One was another local team, which was coached by Coach Nat. She is a brand new coach to the organization. Matter of fact, Sean met her in the gym, and that's kind of how things happen, right? And so she coached these girls who provide them opportunity for them to really learn and grow. And so I'm proud of that. Spoon, everyone knows Spoon. Spoon has the number one and the most contagious energy out of any coach within GCL. And so we just love Spoon and what she was able to do with her team. That 14U team played incredibly well. They played aggressive, and it was a great year. The chemistry and the on that team is just unmatched. And so shout out to Coach Spoon. Coach Spoon's another one who's been with us for quite a long time. She's rode the waves of the ups and downs, but this has to be the best year that she's had as a coach. And so we're thankful for Coach Spoon. 15U. AB and Rye, they're both again brand new coaches to GCL, and we're just thankful for that. Rye has a huge background in rec ball, and so she's really known for all the coaches she's done there. AB also played with Rye. They grew up and they played at Clear Springs, a team that actually went to state, and so they again another team that had a lot of ups and downs. But overall, I think that the team they ended in a very good place. Girls had a great time, and they did really well. 16U level, we had Coach Day's team. Coach Day's team, we dealt with injuries, we dealt with other things throughout the season. They did a really great job with that team and and getting them to accomplish and sometimes overachieve. And so I'm proud of them. Last but certainly not least is the team that I coached, the 16U GCL Ray. Those girls had a great year. They worked hard. They stayed in the gym. They're a very, very disciplined bunch, and we saw a lot of success this year. And so I just want to give a shout out to, again, all the coaches on the girls' side, right? So that's Coach Wilson, that's Coach Pete, Coach Wilson again, Spoon, Coach Nat, Coach AB, Coach Rye, Coach Day. They made the experience on the girls' side something that I will not forget. And it's been a successful season. And it's because of them. We could not do it without the guys.
What about those parents?
Yeah, shout out to the parents too. I mean, this season was one where the parents really bought into the process of training. You have to be committed to be part of GCL. We ask for a lot. We are a program that asks everyone to trust the process. Sometimes it's not always easy for people to do, but we have a great parent group that gives us the ability to be able to coach and not be a burden, but also to support their players, which is really important. And so we've learned a lot. We are not a perfect program. We don't have perfect parents. We don't have perfect players. We don't have perfect coaches. But one of the great things is when it all comes together, we're perfect together, right? And so, again, it all works full circle with the coaches working with the players working with the coaches working with the parents working with their players. And when it all works, it works really well. And so we're excited about that. So shout out to the parents.
All right. Coach Ray kind of went over everything about how great it was for the girls this year. On the boys' side, it was just as amazing. We'll start off with our fourth grade boys. I had the privilege of coaching my son. Coach Jonathan had the privilege of coaching his son. Coach Lance had the privilege of coaching his son. And they all were third graders playing up in fourth grade. So we wanted to be able to coach them and develop them while we had the chance to, right? Because at some point we're going to be able to hand them off. But our fourth grade boys, a lot of them this year, it was pretty amazing. A lot of them came from playing rec ball from different organizations, and they were very limited on their skill. But we really believe in just developing in-house. I was proud of them because really every tournament we entered, besides Dallas, we made it to the championship rounds, whether we won or lost. And so I was really proud of them. And it's just dealing with that age group is just a really sensitive with emotions. And, it's all about winning. But in the gym, we really focused on development. So shout out to my coaches. Like I said, they did a wonderful job, and myself. For that group, but a good group. I really look forward to them in longevity. Those kids are committed. We had about 100% almost every practice, every training for that group. And then moving on to the fifth grade boys, that's coached by Coach Cam. Shout out to Coach Cam because this is first year coaching with us, and he came right in and just said, "Where do you need me?" Right? And the fifth grade team was really at first meant to be more of a development local team. We had a schedule for them of only about 6 to 8 tournaments, but then they got out and started winning, right? And it was back to that commitment, right? Developing in-house and things like that. So once they started winning, Coach Cam reached out. He said, "Hey, can I enter my team in more tournaments?" And we did that. And they even wasn't planned, but they even made a trip to Dallas. Did really well in Dallas, went 500 in Dallas. And so he took a developmental team and made them a really good team. And once again, this goes back to the commitment, not just of the players and the coaches, but the parents. Like there were another group that showed up consistently to practice and training. So shout out to Coach Cam, shout out to the players and the parents because they really exceeded our expectations of what we thought that team would be at the beginning of the year. On the sixth grade boys side, we had 2 teams. We had Coach Rayshon's team, our GCL Black team. We had Coach Alex's team, GCL Gold. Great year. We already had some kids that were already in our organization that joined that team. Great year. They got to travel, won a lot of games. So really proud of Coach Alex and his boys. Now, Coach Rayshon's team, I will say we always talk about how dedicated parents are. But these kids on that team, most of them the second year with us. Most of all the kids, maybe a couple new kids on that team, and they have probably the most heart of anyone on our boys team. I mean, they win, but they win on heart, and we have really, really with most of them developed in house. On that team, we have two amazing standout kids that I really want to shout out to. That's Amir Freeman and Eric Vo. They have been playing up a great level for the last 2 years and been killing the game. So pretty watch out for them because when they play their own age and they get in high school, they're gonna be ready to go. And also, I got to give a shout out to just someone that's really unselfish. That would be Cash Starkey, right? He moved from one sixth grade team to the other, and him and his parents were just really flexible throughout the year wherever there was a need, and he really enhanced that team because he was actually initially playing for Coach Alex's team. Then we said, hey, can we move you to this team? He didn't say, hey, you're moving me to a lesser team. He didn't say what's going to be my playing time. He just kind of just grasped and just did what he needed to help that team. So amazing season for the boys on the sixth grade. Seventh grade is coached by Coach P, who he's just an amazing guy, right? And that team is funny because last year that team, the practices were really fiery, trainers were fiery, and Coach P is a teacher, right? He teaches the game at a pace that some people just think like, hey, let's speed this up, let's get some more fire in the gym, and it took a while for the parents and players to buy in because they were just used to a certain standard, and he has a standard that's just as high, if not higher. And I mean, that team was on fire this year. I mean, won a lot of games. He's very strategic, right? You may walk in a gym and it's not going to be a lot of yelling and screaming and things like that, but that's his personality, things like that. And I think the parents had to see that, hey, buy into what he's teaching, right? It's not all about antics and yelling and things like that in the gym, which I mean, sometimes some people like it, right? Some people don't. But at the end of the day, his method got results, and that's really what matters, right? Is the results. And I mean, we had a lot of new players on that team because his son is on that team that has been playing up for last couple of years. I actually got to play grade level, but shout out to Coach P because he's just an amazing person and an amazing coach. On our eighth grade, I got to get back to Coach Cam. I said he'd be wherever we needed him to be, and he took two teams this year. And once again, we had an eighth grade team, which really was a middle school team, but they played in the eighth grade division. So it was a mix of seventh and eighth grade boys. And once again, like he did with his fifth grade team, they overperformed. They also had a very limited schedule, started winning. The kids started getting more and more developed, and they ended up taking a trip to Dallas also that wasn't on the schedule for them. But it was because of the performance they had throughout the year. And like I said, once again, it took a lot. It started off kind of rough because, like I said, you got half of the kids are seventh grade, half eighth grade playing in the eighth grade division. So at that age, size, speed, strength, it makes a difference. A year makes a big difference. But once again, just shout out to Coach Cam for his strategic, not just that, but just his personality and the way he just engages with the kids and the parents. He's very honest with them. And like I said, they kind of bought in right away. So I'm just excited for him to continue whatever he wants to do. But the good thing is he's just a where do you need me type of guy. So whether he's coaching a team that we think is going to be local or a team we think is going to set the world on fire and win nationals like Coach Ray almost did. But he's just one of those guys that's just going to do whatever is necessary. And then, of course, I'm going to actually Coach Kelly is high school, but that group is really special to all of us because we've had them since fifth, sixth grade. They were actually the first competitive team we had after starting with 7 girls. And those parents and players have been with us since day one. So shout out to all you guys. I'll hand it to Coach Kelly, but shout out to all you guys because they're good enough to go somewhere else, right? And I hope that we've shown them the love that they've shown and back forth to where they know we appreciate them. And like I said, loyalty is a word that's often overused, but they have been loyal to us and we have been loyal to them, and it's working. I'll let her talk about the amazing season they had, but that's probably the most special group in our entire program because they have literally been there since day one. And that's all for the boys side.
So yeah, like Coach Sean said, my 15U boys to me are a really special group. I really love those kids kind of like brothers. I say brothers because I'm not old yet. All right. But I mean the work ethic that those kids have when I took that team over 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago I've been coaching the last 2 years, and the work ethic that those group of kids have is really kind of unmatched. You know, they kind of motivate me to kind of step my game up when it comes to training, when it comes to coaching, because they want so much from the game to where I have to elevate myself, you know. And so, again, awesome parents, man. Those parents are so dedicated. They hardly ever miss a practice. They hardly ever miss a train. If they're gonna miss, they're texting me 2-3 days in advance, like, Coach, I'm not gonna make this. What I need to do, you know. So that commitment from kids at their age and from the parents is a special thing, because not everybody's committed like that. And if parents aren't committed, then it's hard for kids to develop. And I think pretty much all season we played up. We're 15U, but we played 16, some 17U tournaments. And you know, when we first started playing in those tournaments, it was a reality check for my boys. You know, the guys were quicker, they were bigger, you know, stronger, faster, you know, and I just kind of told them, like, it's not always about winning. If everybody in this group want to play on varsity, you got to learn, you got to develop, you got to see what you're lacking, what you're missing, and then work on those things. And by the end of, you know, the season, we were beating 16U Houston Hoops team, JL3 16U team, you know, and teams that blew us out, you know, a year or two ago. So to get to nationals again this year with AAU nationals, it was just a big highlight for me, because our first year going to AAU nationals and we make it to the Elite Eight, you know, and we come across a tough Florida team and we lose by 5 or 6 points. Again, though, it wasn't about the losses. It was about the experience, the growth, the development those boys had, and you know, it's just all the hard work we put in. I was just really proud of that group, especially this year, you know. So yeah.
What's in store for next year?
Is this for me or Coach Ray?
You?
I mean, so next year, my goal for the team is to exceed this year. We wanna, you know, go back to nationals, get to the maybe hopefully the Final Four, get to the championship round, you know, and that's Orlando and at prime time, you know, and just again playing up. We'll be 16U, probably playing a lot of 17U tournaments. And just growing. You know, our off season right now, I preach to them: get in the gym, get in the weight room, go run, stay in shape. You know, you might not be playing AAU, but school ball's around the corner. You know, being proactive, taking care of your body, healing, you know, injuries and stuff like that. So I'm a real big off season person. You know, do the work early, so when the summer rolls around, you know, you're prepared, you're ready. So yeah, I'm hoping for bigger and better things next year. Each year the goal is to, you know, step it up a notch.
All right, now we've discussed the teams. I think we'll just go over, talk about some of our greatest moments throughout the season. When it comes to basketball related memories, one of my memories that sticks out is our fourth grade boys out in Fallbrook, down by 12, 2 minutes left. We call a timeout. They're just head down, looking like we already lost, right? And, you know, we just asked them, just, hey, just keep the effort, keep the attitude, keep the energy. And they did that. And we came back and ended up winning by 2 points. And the smiles, the joys, just the energy they had and the belief they had after they won that game, I really think that's what kind of catapulted us into winning and getting into those championship games in those future tournaments. Because when we were down, they had a belief they could win, right? And it was a really good team we came back 12 against. I don't like doubt to creep in my mind, but even in 2 minutes left, down by 12, I was kind of going ahead and like, what does the second place trophies look like, right? You know, but those kids went out there and fought, and like I said, it just the energy they had after that win and the belief they had, it really just changed the whole attitude of our team. And so that, for me, that's a big moment. Another big moment would be our we hosted a Denise Kobe basketball tournament over Mother's Day, and the love and support not just I received, but in general all the moms received was just heartwarming. Because I mean, I got pretty emotional during that week because we had parents that were mothers, parents. And I'll give Patricia Ortega a shout out. because she bought roses for all the mothers on the teams and things like that. And you just showed that how important not just mother but family is, right? And the boys really appreciate. I'm on the boys side, so just appreciate how much the moms do, because, like I said, that commitment is not just the players, right? The parents have to be committed too, right? You have to have commitment on both ends. So that would be really one of my most heartwarming moments is that just that whole tournament experience. And then also we do Hope Active does a food drive every year, and we probably had about 80% participation, maybe even higher. And the kids were competing on how much food they can get in bag, and they were just having fun. And afterwards, all the parents and kids, all they want to know is when we're going to do this again, right? And Coach Ray always said it's always a hand up, not a handout, and it just goes to our motto saying beyond basketball. And like I said, we in anything we ever do, they're looking forward to it. They're anxious for what's next to help the community. And so it's not just about basketball; it's about all the little things that we could be just thankful for and blessed for outside of basketball.
And I heard there was something with a crawfish costume.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're gonna burn some pictures with the crawfish costume. So this year we had a competition for the boys group selling. Who's gonna sell the most crawfish, the boys or the girls group? I think I started off winning. I might have sent a couple text messages talking some trash. I'm not really sure how that went, but at the end I had to put the crawfish costume on. But I will say I did it with a smile on my face, And Raymond was like, "Did you order your outfit yet? Did you order the outfit?" I'm like, "Hey man," and then my wife was like, "I got it for him." I was gonna delay it and act like it didn't come in or something. I don't know, wear a red hat or something. I don't know. But man, it just even that, right? Even losing that, it benefited everyone, right? And we had a lot of participation with that. Like the girls, they really blew it out the water. The coaches really got behind that, and it really kicked off the season in a good, fun way. So yes, I did lose. Next year, I plan on winning, right? I'm still gonna talk some trash at the beginning. So if I lose, no, I'm not gonna lose.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say if I'm not gonna lose. So we got mine's a medium. I'm going to get an extra large for Coach Ray. He's 6'4", 200 pounds, so he won't fit the costume we currently have in stock. But I'll find one on Amazon for him.
I would say my most favorite or most memorable moment outside of basketball again would be the food drive. My boys, they make a joke out of everything, so we literally had a ball doing that. And then our other one, we went to Orlando, like our parents on my boys' team. They rented out little Airbnbs at a resort, and we all just had like a party over there, and good times. So anytime my parents kind of get together and link up, it's always a good time. So that was a good memorable moment. Basketball wise, again, it would be getting to the Elite Eight in Orlando. Also, going 6-0 at OTR was a good memorable moment for us, and primetime nationals, getting to the Sweet 16 in our last term of the year. We were again facing little injuries, but it was good play games, good memorable moments. I think we learned a lot, developed a lot. So, yeah.
I would say my most memorable moment that comes to mind is really just this last tournament. I think if I go all the way back, to when Coach Sean and I first started GCL, we used to be able to have our meetings with the entire staff at one table. Right now, it requires us to, book a banquet room. Right, and there was a time where he knew everyone on the girls' side. I knew everyone on the boys' side. Like, we knew everyone. But we've grown at such a rapid pace that one of the challenges you have when you grow at that rate is like, how do you keep that same family feel? That's what people love about GCL, right? Is just the fact that a lot of organizations say it, but we truly have a close bond and camaraderie amongst one another. And it gets tough because this year we played. We started expanding our horizons when it comes down to tournaments. So like we weren't playing in the same tournaments. People were playing all over. Doing a lot of traveling. But the last tournament in Dallas when we went to nationals was just an experience that I'll never forget. Shout out to my girls, my 16U girls. And we went there with 7 girls, and they absolutely set the world on fire. Right? I didn't go there with high expectations, other than just the fact that I wanted us to go there, play hard, have a good time, and we'll live with the results as long as we play legacy basketball. And the girls caught fire at the right time. Their momentum was through the roof. And it's not so much exciting about how well they played and how far we made it, but it was the response we got when I could look out in the crowd and see over 100 people, from coaches and from families, from teams that aren't even on the girl side, who stayed behind to support us when we went on that epic run on Sunday. My favorite moment is that, we had, shout out to Angie. Angie hit a really, really big shot. Sam hit some really big shots for us down the stretch. But there was a clip that they played where they hit the shot, and the biggest one celebrating was Sean. It was Kelly. It was Coach Day, right? Coach P was there, and so many other, that Coach Cam was there. And I don't want to miss anybody, there's so many people who stayed behind. And the cheering was so great that every time after a game, people kept on asking, well, are y'all from Dallas? Like, no, we're not from Dallas, because people just assume because so many people stayed behind an extra day to support the girls. And so that run we made, I got my trophy right here. Had to pull the trophy out. So again, I want to get a shout out to just the GCL family, because that's I've sensed it before, but never to that degree, where so many coaches that really didn't have they didn't have a player on the team. They really didn't even know the players on the team, and so many families that just came at there, in support, right? So again, shout out to Jada Ruiz, shout out to Hazel, shout out to Hadley, shout out to Tessa, shout out to Alexa, shout out to Angie. I'm missing somebody. Shout out to just who am I missing? Huh? I didn't say Sam. All right, so shout out to Sam as well. So those 7, they came out there and they just did a really, really good job. And none of this would be possible without them buying in. Coach Kelly's training was great, and just to see that experience and how excited the parents were with that was something that I will never, ever forget my entire life. And so again, overall, this has been a great year. This was the first year. Every year we've kind of taken a step up, right? And this year was no different with the level of tournaments that we've entered. Not just local tournaments, but just more regional and national tournaments, and still being able to compete. We always tell people to trust the process, right? But the reason why we can tell them to trust the process, because we trust the product. And so I just want to take just a little bit of time to huge shout out to Coach Kelly for the training that she does, Monday Madness, also helping out with Academy, the different, one-on-one lessons, small group stuff. And the kids have really, really improved this year. And so to see the kids grow from year after year, month after month, has been amazing. Coach Said came to our organization a little bit over 2 years ago, and he's just made a tremendous difference within our organization with the level of discipline and intensity that he attacks the game with. And so our kids would not have gotten better if it was not for Coach Kelly and for Coach Said. And we have other trainers who come in and they jump in, and I'm thankful for them all, because, again, it takes a village to really run GCL. But, again, huge shout out to Coach Kelly. Shout out to you, Coach Said, and all the other trainers who have been helping us along the way as well. Yeah, so one thing you hear Sean say, myself say, we always talk about beyond basketball. There's some things that are really important to us, giving back to the community and making a difference where we live. And so, just shout out to the players and the parents for buying into this, right? I think one of the things about GCL is that we're not like anybody else, and that's by design, right? And so we have a true commitment to the community, and one of the commitments that we really embraced was being awarded a grant that allows us to serve at-risk youth, not just at-risk youth, but kids who've been impacted by domestic violence and intimate partner violence. So this year is the first year, 2025 is the first year that we've been able to bus the kids from the shelter to our trainings and allow them to participate in the training, participate alongside our great trainers, participate alongside our great players, and just give them some experiences that they may not have been able to have access to. this grant has been life changing, right? And so to move from one shelter to expand to now a second shelter that we'll start with on August 18th is just a testament to our commitment and our due diligence to want to make a difference where we live. And so I'm excited about that to do that and just kind of see where it goes from there. And I think at the end of the day, if we could just change the trajectory of just one kid's life, right, then it's all worth it. And so again, scoring points is cool, winning tournaments is cool, winning trophies is cool, right? But did you make a difference in someone's life? And that's what we want to be able to say we did. Not just the players that we coach, but also just make a difference of where we live. And so that grant has afforded us the opportunity to truly make a difference. And we're excited to see kind of where it goes as we expand to our next shelter and then a next shelter, and then we'll continue to go from there. But that's something that we're going to be committed to now and going forward. So that's just my experience. I definitely will pass over to Sean so he can talk about his experience with the grant. But if you want more information, you can go to our website, www.hope-active.org. You can find more information regarding our ECR grant. And so we would like to hear, if you know of a kid who has been impacted by domestic violence or intimate partner violence and they have interest in basketball, please connect them with us so that way we can connect them with opportunities and resources for recreational outlets.
Yeah, please get involved. Our motto, we say, is beyond basketball, but I'm going to say before basketball. Before we started Gulf Coast Legacy, I don't like to do this too much, but I want to give us a clap on the back because, before we even started Gulf Coast Legacy, we were going to juvenile centers. We were volunteering at the school. So this is kind of really first, it's not secondary to basketball. So I want people to understand that basketball is really secondary to the other things we've been doing in the community. Like even with Gulf Coast Legacy, Hope Active, and some other great organizations, we gave out 3 scholarships this year. 2 to Lamarck High School, 1 to Ball High School. Last year we gave, I think, all 3 to Dickinson. So it's all in our local community, Galveston County. So before basketball, we were already doing these things, and the grant is just a way for us to expand it to kids that need an outlet, a recreational outlet, to kind of just, take time to be a kid. Because even we see the kids that have the 2-parent household, live in Hidden Lakes and some of the nicest areas here, they deal with some of the things. Sometimes basketball is just a release for them. So for us to do it for kids that we know for sure, that we see that they need it 100%, it's just a blessing, all the way around. But this is not something that just happened overnight. I moved here in 2017 and met Raymond, who was already working in the community, and I just jumped on board, got signed by him, and we've been doing things since then. So really, I just really want to stress that this is before basketball. Now it's beyond basketball. And like I said, we just want people to get involved. If you want to know anything about anything we're doing, whether it's funding for the building, grants for kids that cannot afford to pay AAU fees. Before when we first started, we would come out of pocket to buy kids shoes, uniforms, things like that, because we didn't want anyone to not be able to participate just because of finances, right? As long as their heart was in the right place and we knew that there was truly a need there, we didn't want to turn our back on anyone. So please get involved. I promise you, whatever you do for and with us, it's being reaped and it's going to be reaped and sowed out there. So thank you guys, and please find out where we can get more information about what we're doing in the community along with the basketball program.
Active again, what we're doing, I like what Sean said, before basketball, right? We're a 501c3 organization that's committed. The vision at Hope Active is to be a bridge between great people and greater hope. I'm just thankful and I'm blessed to be part of an organization like GCL that doesn't forget all the opportunities that we've been able to do and serve and continue to do. What's on the horizon for us, right? Is we plan to build Hope Center, which is going to be a multi-court, multi-sport sportsplex, 6 courts. We have been on this journey now for a little over 2 years to get to the point that we are now. I'm excited because we've made it to this point so far with just the love and the support from people within GCL has got us to this point. And so I'm excited to be able to share the designs with you, you all, and then also just share, the play where we can be able to host our own tournaments. For everyone knows, with GCL, this was a really, really tough year from a logistics standpoint. When you have 6 players, It's easy. All you need is one gym, and that's what we had when we first started. We were in Southeast Church of Christ, and that's all we needed, right? More space than what we needed. But now, when you start getting into the upwards of 300 kids as participating in your program, you are all stretched out. And so we have, we're using Bayside Intermediate and Barber Middle School, Grace Christian Academy, Southeast Church of Christ, Victory Lakes Intermediate, Pearland Dawson. So we literally were stretched all across this area. And the thought is, like, we really want a place to marry the both the things that we're doing from a basketball perspective, but also the things that we're doing in the community, and that's where Hope Center comes into play, right? So we already have the stuff that we're doing, and we're serving the community, which we'll continue to do, but also know that we need a place where we can house tournaments, premier training, and provide opportunities for all indoor sports. So if you're interested in getting more information about how you can be part of Hope Center and what we have going there, maybe you're interested in just hearing more about the tournaments and, and seeing the things that, that we're going to do on the basketball side. Or maybe you just say, you know what, I love what you guys are doing for the community. Either way, we would welcome that support. But this, everyone always says, like, why do we always have to go here? Always have to go to North Houston? Why do, always going to go to Dallas, right? We want to bring a multi-court, multi-sport premier facility to this area. And we've invested our time, our energy, and our resources to make this happen. So shout out to the parents from GCL who believe in us, who believe in me and this guy, believe in Coach Kelly, believe in what we're doing, and will make this possible. And so we are on the verge of doing something that has not been done. And I know it's going to be a blessing, not to just to the community and from a basketball perspective, but just the community in general. And that's for us, that's always what's paramount, right? So I like that. I'm gonna say that all the time. This is what before basketball, right? So before basketball and beyond basketball. So Hope Center Sportsplex coming very, very soon.
Okay, so what's next when it comes to training? I tell all my kids ever since our last tournament, live in the gym and play basketball, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5, whatever. Just play the game. But when you're in the gym and you're training, train with a purpose. A lot of kids get in the gym to train and they're just kind of going through the motions, run around, run to the three-point line, jacking up threes all day. That's not really training. If you're going to be in the gym, train with a purpose, train with intensity, train as if you're finna play a game, right? The more mistakes you make in training, the better you'll be. And kids don't understand that. They don't want to make mistakes. Embrace the process. Do some extra running. Stay in shape. The hardest thing, and I didn't understand this when I was young. Now that I'm 36, I get it. You get out of shape, man, it's hard. It's hard trying to get your body back into basketball shape. So I preach to the kids, run, do some conditioning, do some agility, do some footwork stuff. Everything that pertains to basketball, you have to be proactive when it comes to development. And so that's one of the biggest things. Just live in the gym, be a gym rat. Yeah.
What are GCL opportunities?
Yeah. And right now, GCL, we're offering Monday Madness, which is advanced training. It's an invite-only training, so you have to be invited by Coach Ray or Coach Sean or myself. And it's really kind of tailored to all of our AAU kids. If you're on the AAU team with GCL, you're pretty much, can pick out of the 4 hours we have now where you can come.
Little Legacy.
Oh, we have the Little Legacy and Academy, which goes on Mondays and Tuesdays, which are tailored kind of to the younger kids or the more developed kids that are still kind of working on their skill set. And so both of those options are open Mondays and Tuesdays, right?
Right. And then I'll say we're also getting ready for to help the kids who are going for tryouts. So our boot camp will be coming up. So we'll be starting that mid-September through the end of October. So it's going to be a 6-week session that's available, led by Coach Kelly and also Coach Said, to get the kids ready for their tryouts. So.
And I don't want to take people within the organization or outside the organization take for granted the amazing trainers that we do have. I mean, Coach Kelly won't brag about herself, but she has records through high school here locally, played at Baylor. I mean, just an amazing trainer. Honestly, like, I've learned a lot from just watching her, and I can run training sessions. Not as good as her, but I can run a training session. And then Coach Said, who local here to Dickinson, went to college, played overseas, has his own program called Dominion Basketball. But we have really amazing trainers. I mean, we have some young up and coming trainers. So as a group, I would really put our trainers against some almost anyone. There's some great trainers out there. I'm not saying that, but I know that they put their heart and soul into training these kids. And really, like I said, that's why we've been being able to develop within and not have to recruit a bunch of kids outside of GCL. You know, we have kids that have been with us since the sixth grade. Now they're high school, right? Like my fourth graders, they stay in the gym with Coach Kelly, Coach said. And so I just want to give them their flowers because they are truly amazing people, but they're great trainers, and I think the kids that are not having a touch point with them in this area are losing out, to be honest with you.
All right, so that's a recap. 2025 season. It started all the way. So many months ago. It went by just that quick. I can't believe we're already here at the end of the season. The crazy thing is that we're already having our meetings planned in 2020. 2026 is going to be an amazing year at GCL. We're already ahead of the curve when it comes down to planning. Our kids are already in the gym. They're already getting better, and we're learning. We're not a perfect organization by any means, but we're one organization that's always constantly moving forward, and we're just excited to continue to set that standard, a standard of excellence, right? We're not competing with any other organization. We're just competing with being better than we were last season, and we definitely will do that. So thank y'all for tuning in to GCL. For more information, go to GulfCoastLegacy.net. Man, we love you guys, man. It's beyond basketball.
Let's go.
Hey.